Hey everyone, hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do something really fun. So today is 1st of June, so happy Pride Month to all of you. And in the spirit of the Pride Month, I wanted to solve a Sudoku which is, well, Pride themed. So, so yeah, that's not much else to say. Um, yeah, I just wish you all a very, very happy Pride Month. I'm really excited for this video, and I'm really excited for this Pride Month. So, all right, let's get into the Sudoku. So, okay, I will just read you the rules of the Sudoku. So, as you can see here, the rules are quite long. But if any of you have played any varied Sudokus before at all, this a lot of these rules would be quite familiar. So let's take a look at it. So okay, the first is that normal Sudoku rules apply. What does that mean? It means that we have to place the digits 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Then next we have is that so this is the flagpole, and these are the various lines that compose the pride flag. And the flagpole is supposed to be a thermometer. So what is a thermometer? So a thermometer is like a basically what we need to do is that we need to place a digit. So this is the bulb end of the thermometer. We need to place a digit in this. Let's say I placed 4. Then the rule is that at every single point after 4, the numbers have to be in an increasing order. So it could be 5, it could be 6, it could be 7, then next could be 8. So essentially, it's like how the mercury rises in the thermometer from the bulb, it goes to a higher and higher number. That's what we want here. We want numbers to increase from the bulb end to the other end, right? So it doesn't have to be in steps of 1, it could be in steps of 2, 3, 4, or whatever, however much you want, as long as it's satisfied. So for example, if I choose this configuration, now thermometer up until here is pretty valid, the numbers are in an increasing sequence, but over here I need a number that is larger than 9, and I cannot put 10 into this because it's a normal Sudoku, right? So uh, we don't have, in Sudoku digits are only 1 to 9, 10 and 0 are not Sudoku digits. So yeah, this is one example where these cells satisfy the rule for the thermometer, but these three cells do not because there are no numbers that you can put in these three cells, and every single cell must contain number. All right, so that is it for thermometer. Then the next rule is that the red line is a Renban line. So this is the Renban line. What Renban line means is that this line contains a set of consecutive digits, but they can appear in any order. Then the orange line is a Dutch whisper line. What that means is that the adjacent digits have a difference of at least 4. So if this is a 1, let's say this is a 1, then this would need to have at least a difference of 4. It could be 5, it could be 6, it could be 7, whatever you want. Right? Now, the yellow line is a tree whisper. So it's the same as a Dutch whisper, except that the adjacent digits need to have a difference of 3, at least 3. Now, this is a German whisper, the green line. So here the adjacent digits need to have a difference of at least 5. And then the blue line is a region sum line. What that means is that the 3 by 3 boxes, they divide the blue line into regions. For example, this is one region, this is another region, and this is another region. And all three of these regions sum to the same value. If you add up all these digits, they would sum to the same value. And finally, the purple line, it is a parity line. As you can, I'll just scroll down here so that you can see it. The purple line is a parity line. So the numbers on this line, they alternate in parity. So if this is an odd number, this would have to be an even and an odd and an even and an odd. If this is an odd, then the next one have to be an even and then an odd again and so on. And then it's finally we have two more rules, that the digits separated by a V sum to 5 and digits separated by an X sum to 10. So yeah, that's quite a long list of rules. So I will have to keep on going back to them. But so I've already given this Sudoku a try. I wanted to make sure that before I get on the camera, I can actually solve this Sudoku. So I was able to. I didn't solve it fully. I was able to solve quite a significant chunk of it. So so yeah, I think I think even though I'm somewhat familiar with the rules, but yeah, I still have not solved more than half of the Sudoku, and chances are that I've already forgotten how to solve this because I solved this like 2-3 days ago. So yeah, I probably have already forgotten what the key steps were. But that's okay, I'm pretty sure we can figure it out together. So the link to the Sudoku would be given in the description, and you can go and give it a try over there. So all right, let's get started then, I guess. So I think this is a wonderful way to start the Pride Month. I absolutely love Sudokus. Okay, so the very first thing I notice is that the thermometer. The thermometer is of length 8. And the interesting thing about thermometers is that, well, as we saw earlier, if I had a 9 somewhere over here, that would not give me a valid solution because these digits would have to be greater than 9 and that's not allowed. So okay, similarly, if this was say, so this could be a 9, but this could also be an 8. So it could be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or it could be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. It could be something like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, but for example, if this was a 3, the most you could make the Sudoku is like 3, the most you could put the digits in this thermometer in the most efficient manner, it would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you would again have no digits for this cell. So that's something that tells us that uh, this particular cell, it can only have either 1 or 2 as its candidates. If you go any higher than 2, you're going to run into the same problem that we encountered before. So we can fill in these the poles, the pole of the cells on the pole, right? This would have to be a 4 or 5. This would have to be a 5 or a 6. This would have to be a 6 or a 7. This would have to be a 7 or an 8. And this would have to be an 8 or a 9. And another thing this tells me is that, again, I can immediately use this X to infer that if this is 7 or an 8, this would have to be a 2 or a 3 because these two cells sum to 10. Okay. Now, here comes the problem, right? The like which line do you even begin to, like, where do you even begin? Well, I think the best way to begin this is by focusing on the rule that provides you the most constraint. Because the most constraint here is provided by the German whisper line. The adjacent digits need to have a difference of 5. And here's an interesting thing about German whisper lines, which is that a 5 can never go on this line. Now, why is that? Imagine this was a 5. What would happen then? This cell would have to be 5 away from 5, at least 5 away. So if you go in one direction, you get 0, or -1, or -2, and so on, but none of those are Sudoku digits. But if you go in the other direction, you get 10, 11, 12, 13. Also, none of them are Sudoku digits. What this tells me is that 5 can never be on a German whisper line. So this cell, it actually cannot be a 5, which means it has to be a 4. And the moment this is a 4, all of these digits are uniquely determined. This has to be a 3, this has to be a 2, and this has to be a 1. Okay, now we can't still infer anything about these digits, but at least we have this part. And now the question is, what comes after 4 on this German whisper line? Well, the only Sudoku digit that is at least a 5 away from 4 is 9. So this would have to be a 9. Which means that this would have to be either a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Not 5, sorry, 1, 2, 3, or 4. But because this is in the same box, 3 and 4 could not go here because by normal Sudoku rules, they see this cell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the I am just going to turn on these rules so that we know. Wait, I did not turn it on. I just want to turn on the rule where it allows me to check if my answer is correct. And the way I'm going to do that is by there should be some setting here. Probably should have done this in the beginning of the video. Yeah. Let me just see. So I would like for it to show me which pencil marks are correct and which pencil marks are wrong. Oh yeah, conflict checker on. Yeah, okay. Now I think this should work. Let's see. Oh yeah, we get it in red. So yeah, okay, great. So all the digits in red, they can't go there because there'll be a conflict, right? So I'm just going to turn it on for the convenience. So okay, so now what comes after 1 or 2? Well, the digits would have to be at least 5 away from 1, or they would have to be at least 5 away from 2. So it would be anything from 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now if we go here, what we're going to have is the other set of digits. So one thing that you see on the German whisper line is that the digits alternate in polarity. So if this is a high digit, this is going to be a low digit. By low digits, I mean digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, and a high digit is 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is going to be a low digit again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be a high digit, so that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be a low digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is going to be a high digit, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this could not be a 9 because of this 9 here, and this could not be a 3 because of this 3 here. So okay. Now I think we can move on to the Dutch whisper because that is the one that provides the most constraint. The difference of 4 is a lot more restrictive than the difference of 3. So if it's a 2, then this would have to be either 6, 7, 8, or 9, but it could not be a 9. So I'll remove that. Now, we again need a difference of 4. So if it's 6, then we could have only digits 1 and 2. But the digits 1 and 2 can't go here, which means that it cannot be a 6, right? So yeah. Now, what about the 7? For 7, it could be 1, 2, or a 3. So okay, 7 is very much possible. We can have 7 and 3 here like this. Now, with respect to 8, we can have again 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this tells us that 1 and 2 can't go here because of the Sudoku rules, but this cell has to be a 3 or a 4. So if this has to be a 3 or a 4, this would have to be again 4 away from either of those. So it would either be 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, or it would be, yeah, it would have to be 7, 8, 9 for 3 and 8 and 9 for 4. And again, we're going to have to go in the other direction this time. It would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except that 1 could not go there. Now when we go here, with respect to 2, we would have 6, 7, 8, 9. With respect to 3 and 4, again it's 7, 8, 9 and 8, 9. But with respect to 5, it could also be a 1. And now here's the interesting part. These two cells sum to 5. Imagine if this was something like, say, 6. Then this would have to be a minus 1 so that these two cells sum to 5. But that's not possible, right? Because minus 1 is not a Sudoku digit. So what you're going to end up having is that 6 cannot go in this cell, 7 cannot go in this cell, 8 cannot go in this cell, and 9 can't go in this cell either. So the only number that can go in this cell is 1. And we have another digit. And since 1 plus 4 is 5, we get that this cell is 4, which means that this cell is not a 4. Okay. Now again, let's continue along this line. So 1 would have to be followed up by, well, it could either be 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And what would this cell be? So if it's a 5, this would have to be a 1 or a 9. If it's a 6, then this would have to be a 2 or a 1. For 7, it would have to be a 1, 2, 3. For 8, it would have to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. For 9, it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, 3 can't go here, but all the other cells, all the other digits could go here, at least so far. Okay, now I think let's turn our attention to the 3 whisper line, the yellow line. Yeah. So now we need digits that are 3 away from 3, which are 6, 7, 8, and 9, but 9 cannot go there. And now here we need digits that are 3 away from either of these digits. So 3 away from 6 means that it would either be 1, 2, 3 or 9, but 1 and 2 can't go here. Now 3 away from 7 means that it would be 1, 2, 3 or a 4, but again 4 can't go there either. 3 away from 8 would mean that it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. So these are all the possibilities that we have for this cell. I think we can just continue in this way. This would have to be okay, this would have to be a 6, 7, 8, 9, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But 1, 2, and 4 could not go there. It'd be a 3, 5, 7, 8. Let me just check. If it's a 9 here, this could be 3 or a 5. If it's a 5 here, it could be it could not be a 3, but it could be a 8 or 9. If it's a 3 here, it would be either 7, 8, 9. So yeah, it works. And again, we have to do the same thing for over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 1, 2, and 4 could not be there because for 3 we could have all the digits after 6. For 5 we could, for 9 we could have all the digits before 6. So yeah. So this is where it becomes kind of a nightmare because what's happening is that uh, yeah, this is becoming a headache because we have simply too many options for these cells. So okay. Hmm. Okay, now there is one more thing that we can say about the run-bound line, which is that there's a 1 here, right? So we need a set of 8 consecutive digits because this line is 8 cells long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? So we need a set of consecutive 8 digits, which means this has to be a set from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 could never go on this line. We already have a 4 here, so we need to figure out where digits like 1, 2, 3 would go. 1 is there, 4 is there. Okay. Let's say this was a 5, then wait, this could not be a 5. No, wait, no, it could be a 5. It could be a 5. There's an 8 here. There's a 3 whisper, so it could be a 5. Hmm, this could be a 3. That's a 9. This would have to be a 3. Followed by something else. If that's a 5, this would have to be either 8 or 9. Could not be a 5 again. If it's a 9, this could be a 6. We could have 5, 9, and 6. That doesn't sit very well with me. We could have 5, 9, and 6. Am I missing something? Yeah, so like I said, even though I tried solving the Sudoku and I was able to solve half of it, I have forgotten all of it again. So it seems like I'm gonna have to start. Seems like I'm gonna have to start from scratch. So yeah, that's fun part. Ah. Okay, so what I'm trying to see is that okay, so here's the one thing, right? If this was a 3, where would the digit 3 go on the red line? So I have two possibilities here. If 3 goes here, then 3 would have to go here. But if 3 goes here, then 3 would go here, which would then mean that 3 could not go anywhere on this line. Because of this 3, it could not go in these two boxes. Because of the 3 over here, the 3 could not go in these two. And because of the 3 here, the 3 could not go in this place either. So if we can prove that there's always a 3 between one of these 3 digits, we would be able to show that this is a 4. So the problem is the if this is a 9, then this could be a 6. And so we could have a 3 here, which would make this a 4. We could have a 3 here, which would make this a 9. So if this is a 9, that would have to be a 3 or a 5. But again, if this is a 9, this could be a 5, and then this could be something like 8. So that's not particularly restrictive. So I feel like we are missing something here. Could this be a 4? Oh wait, this could not be a 4. If this is a 4, it would have to be flanked by both 9s. So this could not be a 4. And this could not be a 6 either, because 6, the only digit, only Sudoku digit that is 5 away from 6 is 1. So if this is a 6, we would get two ones in the same column. So this cannot be a 6. So now we have a 1-2 pair here, so this could not be 1 or a 2. So now this could not be a 6 anymore, because 4, 5, 9 are not 4 away from 6. It still could be a 5, because 5 and 9 form a pair. It could not be a 7, because 4 is 3 away from 7. It could be an 8, however, because it could be 8 and 4. Okay, that is at least some progress. They've cleaned up the pencil marks quite a bit. Okay, one other thing I can infer is that 1 would have to go in these 3 cells because of Sudoku. So, what else? Hmm. No, this is very much possible that this is a 6 because it could be 1 and 1 like that. So that's very much possible. What if this is an 8? This would have to be a 3, which would... Oh, okay, if this is a 7 or an 8... Not... Okay, if this is a 7, this would have to be a 3, which would mean that the 3 would force these to be either 7, 8, or 9, which would force this to be either 3, 5, or 6. It's not particularly helpful though. That's not particularly helpful. Can we show that a 3 would always go here? Is that necessary? Oh, wait, we already have something. This is a 1. So this cannot be 2, 3, or a 4. This would have to be a 5. Because it's a difference of 5. A difference of 4, sorry. So these two cannot be 5s. Now if that's a 5, this one would have to be a 9. So this would not be 9. This would not be a 9. Okay, so now if this is a 9, this would become a 3. Whatever. If this is a 5, this would become an 8, which would force this to be a 3. So, right, now we can do this. So, because, let's assume this was a 3, then we get a 3 here. Let's assume this was a 5. Then we would get an 8 here and a 3 here. If this was a 9, we would get a 3 here and something else here. But either way, there's always a 3 in one of these cells, which means is that 3 cannot go here ever. And that is really cool, because now we can go back to what I discussed before, if you remember, that if 3 can't go here, where does 3 go along this red line? It has to go in one of these places. But, okay, let me just color these. But if this is a 3, then it could not go in this because of Sudoku. If this is a 3, then this could not be a 3 because of Sudoku, which means that 3 would go here, because of which again by Sudoku 3 would not go here and we would not have a 3 on this line. And that's not possible because this line has to form a set of consecutive digits. So all the numbers between 1 and 8 have to be all in this line. So this cannot be a 3. I'll just remove this coloring, which means that this cannot be a 3, so this has to be a 4. Now if that has to be a 4, a difference of 4 would mean that this has to be an 8. So this cannot be an 8 anymore. This cannot be an 8 anymore. So if this is 6 or 7, that means this cannot be a 5. So if this is a 3 or a 9, if this is a 3, this could not be 3. This has to be 7, this is allowed to. Oh, okay, now, okay, that leads us to another thing. This cannot be a 3. Why do I say that? Because assume this were a 3. That would make this a 7, which would make this a 3. Then we would have two threes in the same line. So this has to be a 9, which means that this has to be a 3. So we're not, I can remove the 3's here. This could either be 6 or a 7. I think I'm right. Let me just check. Oh, wait. Did we miss something? It says we're wrong. It says that I am wrong, not you. Okay, this is also right. This is wrong. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Did I make a mistake somewhere? Okay, wait. If this is a 9, this would have to be a 6. I think that is something we can agree upon. Right? That is something we can agree upon, and I think this would tell us that we are right. So let me just refill these cells. What is this cell going to be? It would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It could not be 1, it could not be 2, it could not be 4, it could not be 5. What would this cell be? From based on 3, it can only be 6, 7, 8, or 9. And it could not be 8 or 9. Based on 6, it could be 1, 2, 3, or 9. Again, it cannot be 1, 2, or 9. Okay, yeah. Now if this was a 3, okay, let's take a look at these two cells. What would this be? It could not be 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have to be either 5 or 6 or 7. This would also be a 5, 6, 7. Now if this was a 3, this would have to be 6 or a 7. That's not particularly restrictive. Oh wait, we have one more thing. Because this is a 6, this would have to be a 5. Okay, that is one more thing that we figured out. Alright, this is not going as easily as I thought it would. Okay, so if this is a 3, 6, or a 7, what digits would this be? Well, a 3 would mean that you could have any digits after 6. And a 7 would mean that you could have any digits up until 4. But 1 could not go here, 3 could not go here, 6 could not go here, and because he's a 1-2 pair, we cannot have 2 here either. But still 6 and 7 could go there, 7 with 4 and 6 with 9. Okay, one more thing we can conclude is that this is going to have a 9 in it, and this is also going to have a 4 in it by Sudoku. So we get that this is a 1, 4, 9 triple. No, sorry, this is oops. This is going to have a 9 in it, and this cell is going to have a 4 in it. But you can't have a 4 on this line because the 4 is already there, and we need a non-repeating set of consecutive digits. So this could not be 4, which would make this a 4. If that's a 4, this could not be a 4, which means that 7 could not go here. So if 7 can't go here, that gives us a 3, 6 pair, which means that 6 can't go here. And oh, 6, can 6 go there? Make this a 9. Okay, so where does 3 go along this line? 3 has to go here. Right along the red line, 3 has to go there. Because 3 can't go here. And okay, we can also fill these digits in. We are going to have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an 8. Right? This is going to be a 2, 7, 8 triple. Which means this would have to be a 5. Which would make this a 7. Which means this cannot be a 5. And I think we are right. Oh yes, we are. So I just like to check with these buttons every now and then because I'm pretty sure that I messed up every now and then. So yeah, it's I'm still a beginner to variant Sudokus, so that certainly really helps. Oh, I figured out this really new. This is a cup of coffee. I absolutely love coffee. And I figured out this uh, new coffee technique, you can say. So I am pretty lazy at times, so I just have a pour over machine, drip machine, and I would just often put some cardamom in the filter, and that gives it a very subtle flavor of cardamom. But I really like strong flavors, so I just put cardamom directly inside my coffee cup, and it just gets soaked. That is so beautiful. I love that strong flavor, but it's definitely not everyone's cup of coffee, for sure. But I absolutely adore it. Okay, coming back to Sudoku, okay, what digits do we have on the line? We have one, two, three goes here, four goes here, five goes here. This means this has to be a 3-6 pair, right? Because 6 has to go somewhere along this line, it can't go there. That means this is a 3-6 pair. But this cannot be a 6 because of the 6 here, which would make this a 6. And I think we are right. Yep, we are. Which would make this a 2 because of the 3 over here. Which would make this an 8 since these two sum to 8, sum to 10, which would make this a 9. Okay, we actually made considerable progress. Which makes this a 6-7 pair. But 6 can't go here, so this has to be a 7, which would make this a 6, which would make this a 7 by Sudoku, which would make these two not 7s, and 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have to be a 5 by Sudoku. Okay, so this would have to be an odd number, because this is a parity line, so this would have to be a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. 3, 5, and 9 cannot go there. You know what? I'm just gonna take all these odd, take all these cells. I'm just gonna add 1, 3, not 4, 5, 7, and 9, and these cells would have to be 2, 4, 6, 8. So okay, this one cannot be 4 or 6. This one cannot be 5 or a 9. This one cannot be 1 or a 7. This one would have to be a 6 because that's the only possible option there. This cannot be a 5. These cannot be 7s. Okay, so it's very much possible for us to have something like 6 and 9 and 3 here. But if this is an 8, this would have to be a 3, which would make this a 6. Okay, so we can't infer anything about these two cells yet. I see. Okay, now I think we just have to do Sudoku now, and the classical Sudoku, and that would slowly help us work this out. So we already know one goes here, and one would also have to go somewhere over here. What about twos? Twos would have to twos would have to go in one of these three cells. What about three? Threes would have to go in these cells. What about fours? Four would have to go in these cells. About five. Five would have to go here. Six is there in the. I'm just doing the first these three columns right now. These three boxes. Seven would have to go here and here. So where does 7 go in this box? It can't go here because that has to be an even number. It cannot go here, but it could go here. So we get a 1, 2, 7 triple, which makes this an 8. This can't be an 8. This can't be an 8. I think I am right. Oh yes, I am. Good. Okay, let's take a look at this box now. Ones are already there. Twos can go anywhere. Okay, what about threes? Threes. Oh, okay, three would have to go here because of Sudoku, because three goes in this row, three goes here. So I'm gonna write this as 139 pair, 139 triple, which means that the other three digits go here. So 2, 6, and 8 go here, but this one can't be a 6. Okay, I think we could fill in these digits as well. If this is an 8 or a 9, this would have to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can't be a 4 though. This would have to be everything after 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But again, this would not be a 4 or a 5 or a 9. So if it's a 6, then this would have to be a 1, 2, 3. If this is a 7, this would have to be 1, 2, 3, 5. If this is an 8, 1, 2, 3. If this is an 8, this would have to be a 1, 2, 3, 5. So yeah, there is no, doesn't seem like there's any option there. Can we figure out the sum of, okay, so this is a region sum line. I think this is where this comes in now because the 7 must go on the region sum line. So if 7 goes there, that means that 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Oh, I think I got something. Okay, so yeah, where does 7 go in the box 6? It has to go here. 7 goes here. But this means 7 has to go here. So this cannot be a 7. But if this is a 5, 7, and 1, which is the minimum it could be, that's going to be 13. And for you to get 13 by adding a 7, this has to be a 6. That's impossible. Which means that this is not a 7, which makes this a 7. Which means that these two are not 7s, which makes this a 4, which makes this not a 4, which makes this a 1, 7 pair. Okay. Uh, okay, again, from Sudoku, I can infer that 5 cannot go here, which means that 5 must go here. Oh god, this is getting really okay. I think we're gonna have to use region sum lines now because that's the only thing that we haven't used yet. So how would that work? If this is a 5, this would okay, so these two digits sum to either 8 or they sum to 9, right? So it would either be 7 plus 1 or 7 plus 2, which means that 9 can never go here because these two digits would sum to, if 9 goes in one of these two places, 9 must sum to these two cells would at least sum to 10. That would violate the region sum laws, which means that in this box, 9 cannot go on the blue line, but it also cannot go on the green line, as we know from our previous pencil marks, and it also cannot go on the parity line, which means that 9 must go here. So this can't be a 9. This can't be a 9, which makes this a 4, which makes this an 8, which makes this a 7, which makes this not a 7. And I think we are very much right when I claim this. Yes, we are. This is not an 8. Alright, I feel happy. I feel kind of proud. So these cannot be okay, let's just pencil mark these in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. This could not, although this cell cannot be 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. This could not be 4, 5, 7, or 9. Okay, so if this is a 6, that would make uh, this because so oh, okay, I see. This would sum to 7 plus 1 or 7 plus 2. It would have to be an 8 or a 9. So if this is 7 plus 1, this could not be an 8. But if 7 and if this is an 8, this would have to be a 1, which is again not possible, which means that this cannot be an 8, which makes this an 8. Oh wait, there's an 8 here, which makes this a 2, which means 2 cannot go here, and 2 can't go here. So 1 3 pair here now. That's good. So again, we have a 1 3 7 triple, which means that this cannot be a 3. Oh, okay. So if this is a 2, this would have to be a 6, and this would have to be a 7 and a 1. If this is a 6, this would either have to be a 2 or a 3. What if this is a 1? This cannot be a 1. If this is a 1, the most it can be is 6. And 6 plus 1 is just 7. We need a sum of at least 13. This can't be a 1. What about 2? It could be 6 plus 2 and 7 plus 1. That would work. Oh! I got something else. This has to be a 4 because of Sudoku. Alright, okay, that's one less thing I need to worry about. I think we can do more stuff with the. I think we are in a position where we can just apply Sudoku rules and get this over with our previous pencil marks. I think this is right. Let's just check. Yep, it's right. So these two digits would have to be a 4. Actually, I'm gonna mark it like this. What about ones? No, we don't have many ones yet. Oh wait, why can't one go here? One can go here. Why didn't I pencil mark that? My bad. One. One could also go here. Actually, one has to go here. So, okay. We'll summarize this box. This will have to be a 2. It cannot be a 3. It could not be a 4. It could be a 5. Actually, okay, that's it. 5 goes here. Yeah, 5 goes here. So this could not be a 5. Then there'll be a 6. It could be a 6. It could also be 7. No, it could not be a 7. Sorry, 7 is there. But it also could be a 9. Except the 9 could not go there. Yeah. Alright. Okay, what would these two digits be? The Both of these digits cannot be low digits because that would never sum to 13. So the way you can get the sum 13 is by doing 9 plus 4, which is possible, or you can do 8 plus 5, which is also possible. So these have to be either an 8-5 pair or a 9-4 pair. So this could not be a 4 and an 8, this could not be a 4 or a 5. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Wait. It could be 8-5. It could not be 9 and 4 because there are 4 in both of these boxes, so 4 must go here, and 4s make an X-wing over here. So, so which means that 9 and 4 cannot go here. So 9 could go here. No, 9 could not go here either. 9 could not go here either, which means that this would have to be a 9. Wait, oh no, I messed up again? Where did I go wrong this time? Oh yeah, 9 could go in these two cells as well. Oops, my bad. So, uh, okay. What else can we do here? Okay, wait, if this is a 13, if this sums to 13, then this could not be a 9 and a 4. It would have to be a 5 and an 8 pair, which would make this a 3. All of this seems plausible. What if this is what if this is 14 instead? What if it's 7 and 2? Yeah, what if this is 7 and 2? It's not be 5, 2, 6. Sorry, 5, 3, 6. For 14 you would need 9 and a 5, which could happen. Or you would need 8 and a 6, which is not possible. So 9 and a 5 is very much possible. Oh, wait. Oh no. I am so stupid. Oh no. We had that staring right at us. This has to be a 5 by Sudoku, which makes this an 8 or a 9. This has to be a 3. This could not be either 3 or a 5. Yeah. This is 1 7 pair. This could not be 1, it could not be 7. So 3 5 pair. Um, okay, I think let's just do Sudoku. So what about ones? Where do ones go? Ones can go everywhere over here. That's not particularly helpful. What about twos? Uh, twos can only go here, here, or here. Over here, twos would have to go. They can go anywhere. So I'm not going to pencil mark that. Threes go here. Threes go here. Okay, wait. This cannot be a three because there's a 1 3 pair here. So this has to be a 9. Okay. Means that 1 3 would have to be like this. Not really particularly willing to pencil mark that. What about fours? I think we have pencil marked fours already. What about fives? 5 would have to go down here. Yeah. What about sixes? Sixes would have to go over here. What about sevens? Sevens would have to go here, but 7 could not go here. Right? Am I right? Yeah, 7. By Sudoku, 7 would have to go here. Yep. What about 8s? Wait, let's see if we can do anything further with the 7s. I don't think we can. Hmm. Okay, 8s. Don't think there's much to be done with 8s either. What about 9s? Okay, 9 has to be here by Sudoku. This has to be an 8, which makes this 13. So this would be 7 and 1, which makes this a 2, which makes this a 1, which makes this a 3, which makes this a 1, which makes this a 3, which makes... Oh my god, we have nearly solved this, which makes this a 7, which makes this a 1, which makes this a 1, which makes this a 7. I think we're gonna be done soon. Yep. It can't be a 3. This would have to be a 6. This would have to be a 3. This would have to be a 6. This would have to be an 8. This would have to be a 7. This would have to be a 9. This could not be a 9. This could not be a 6. This could not be a 9. Oh wow, that's it. There's a 2 6 pair here. 2 can't go here. That makes this a 2. Uh, 2 would be here. That would make this a 4. Oops, 4. I meant to type 4. That would make this a 4. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This could not be a 9, which makes this a 9, which makes this a 1 3 pair. Lines are all there. Eights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, wait, this is an 8, which makes this an 8, which makes this a 2, which makes this a 6, which makes this a 2, which makes this a 6, which, oops, that makes it a 2, this makes this a 6, this would be a 6, this would be a 5, this would be a 5, this would be a 3, this would be a 1, this would be a 3, and that would be a 1. That would be a 3, and that would be a 1. Oh my god, we solved the puzzle! Let's go! We solved the gay Sudoku! Yay! So yeah, I think this is a pretty fun way to start off the Pride Month. I'm certainly loving this. So in the spirit of the Pride Month, and in the spirit of my summer vacations, and in the spirit of my love for Sudokus, I want to do more Sudokus on this channel in the upcoming month. So I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite Sudokus, and yeah, I would love to see you there. So stay tuned, guys. Until then, peace out and happy Pride. Bye bye.